presents winner of the International Documentary Association's Distinguished Award for Best Continuing Series.
Did you ever get so sick and tired of it all? Did you ever bang your head up against the wall? Did you leave with all the anger and the need?
This is Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, or what's left of it. My hometown, it's where I grew up. I'm Kathleen Koch. For the past 6 months, ever since Hurricane Katrina, I've been coming back to see how it's doing. In so many places, there's been so little progress. It's as if the recovery has barely begun. And it's painful to see how life has stalled for many of those still here. But at the same time, I have hope, because the people of Bay St. Louis are like a family with a strong sense of community and pride. They have huge hearts, and they won't give up. Bay St. Louis was unique.
Bay St. Louis was a beautiful community.
A lot of arts and crafts kind of town, real laid back, great restaurants, really good fishing.
Everybody knew each other. You know, you meet up on Sunday at church.
People had time for each other. People could sit out on their front porch and swing.
Of course, the easiest word I can use to describe it is that it was home.
Along with the charm came a rock-solid resilience.
At midnight, the eye of the hurricane crosses east of Bay St. Louis.
It was forged in 1969 when the town was battered by Hurricane Camille, one of the strongest hurricanes ever to strike the United States.
But now there's nothing anyone can do.
The CNN Weather Center
So as Katrina bore down on the Gulf Coast,
has upgraded itself to a Category 5 hurricane
many people who had ridden out Camille were reluctant to leave.
with winds upward and above 160 miles an hour.
Some staying in what were supposed to be hurricane-proof houses. People like Nikki and Patrick Cleveland.
We always felt very safe here, and always were for every other storm we went through here.
Well, my dad was trying to build a hurricane-proof house for his family, you know, to protect his wife and children.
Nikki was born and raised here in this house on the beach overlooking the Gulf. A fortress, 14-inch thick concrete walls reinforced with steel, indestructible. About 6 a.m., Katrina came ashore. These images captured by a neighbor.
The wind got more violent, the waves got more violent, and it got really scary really fast.
And the walls began to break apart, and sheetrock started tearing off the studs.
And then a real big one came through, and it washed us out to the edge of the house. And then another big one came, and I just flipped out. And I started watching for a tree. I was very afraid of drowning. I just went from tree to tree. I probably went to 10 before I finally found a good one to hold on to.
You know, you finally make the decision that this is not how I'm going to go, and you just start fighting. And at that time, I just managed to get a leg free and kick a hole into the roof of the house.
Tossed by massive waves, Nikki was pummeled with the floating remains of homes, businesses, piers. As she struggled to keep her head above water, she saw something shiny dangling from a nail on a piece of plywood.
I realized that it was Patrick's wedding ring. I immediately thought the worst.
But miraculously, Patrick had survived.
It was just the best thing I've ever seen, Patrick walking up in his poncho. I can't believe any of it, honestly.
I was very surprised. was all that was left.
The house was gone. Nikki's parents were gone, lost to Katrina. And so was much of Bay St. Louis. 95% of the homes and businesses were heavily damaged or destroyed. Katrina's 34-foot storm surge and 125-mile-an-hour winds had been merciless. 3 days after the storm, I went back to a town I barely recognized. Jeez, this can't be Bay St. Louis. There were houses here that were beautiful, big houses. War zone? Saigon, maybe? How can this be the place I used to live? I searched for missing neighbors. Y'all seen any Van Schultz, Ogden's, Gottshagens? No? Okay. And found old high school friends.
Our homes are destroyed, but we're okay. We're alive.
They'd congregated at the 2-mile-long Bay Bridge, now reduced to pilings. It was the only place cell phones worked.
My son's alive.
I told you. I told you.
He climbed on top of his roof.
I told you. I told you.
What? I didn't know if he was alive. The last time I talked to him, he was taking on water.
I told you.
But most felt like I did, helpless and overwhelmed. And our ice cream parlor is over here. Let's see if I can get to it. It's hard to tell where anything, what was what anymore. Downtown, I'm so disoriented. I walk right over the rubble of the ice cream parlor my family ran years ago. Oh my God. Beautiful, historic, beachfront homes that had made this town so unique, erased. Nothing left but empty foundations. Like the brick home on South Beach Boulevard where I grew up. Another hurricane-proof house.
And these phone poles, these are the poles that were supposed to keep this house together.
My family had owned it for 30 years. Though my parents had sold it and moved away, its loss will break their hearts.
I know how I'm going to call my mom, my dad, my brother, my sisters. Tell them that the place we grew up in, where we had so many wonderful years, is gone. All gone.
Destruction, loss, death, everywhere. It's hard to see a way back for Bay St. Louis.